If you're in northern Idaho and are hearing this, you may want to adjust your radio antenna. If, however, it's 2:38 a.m. Central Time when you're hearing this broadcast, then welcome to Fact. Factual, actual conspiracy theories. I'm Francis King, and tonight we're examining Case 23-8, the fall of the House of Usher. Many tales of mystery and woe have been collected by the great writer Edgar Allan Poe, and this case is no different. Years went by without the strange happenings of the House of Usher being reported, but upon Edgar's death, a personal journal was found detailing this strange tale.
Oh, Jane! Thank you so much again for coming.
I thought that would never end, Mary. I just don't know what to do with myself now. I can't believe he's actually gone.
Well, we will just have to put one foot in front of the other and keep on. The next thing we should do is clear out Papa's attic. I'm headed up now. How about you join me?
Yeah, maybe it will help take my mind off of everything.
Jane, why don't you start with that box over there?
Sure. What's that you've got there, Mary?
I'm not sure. It looks like a diary of some sort, but...
I've never known Papa to keep a diary. Now that I mention it, I've never known him to speak much of his past, since he was always so quick to dismiss it when we'd ask. Open it. Let's see what it is.
Dreary tract of country. A woman's silhouette. House of Usher?
This letter fell out too. I'm not sure what it's about, but it's from a man named Roderick Usher.
The House of Usher? Wait, I remember now. Papa's best friend growing up was a man named Usher. That was the family's name anyhow.
I remember Grandma telling me about him one time before Papa cut her off. He was angry, and I don't remember him getting angry often.
Okay, let's see. I had been passing alone on horseback through a singularly dreary tract of country,
and found myself within view of the House of Usher. A sense of insufferable gloom pervaded my spirit almost immediately, and I looked upon the scene before me with an utter depression of the soul, a sickening of the heart. Why was I so unnerved by the House of Usher? That I could not say, but it was the truth of it. I dismounted my horse and made my way up to the giant oak twin doors, mounted with the head of a hideous gargoyle. Taking a metal ring in hand, I went to knock against the door when it opened before I had the chance.
Greetings, sir. We've been expecting your arrival for some time now. Follow me. I shall take you to my master at once.
The man seemed able, dressed in a black suit with a red handkerchief hanging securely from his collar. The hall was dimly lit, lined only with candles along the walls and a few sparse chandeliers above, with dark and somber tapestries filling the empty spaces of stone between candles. As we continued walking, footsteps began to approach us from the opposite end of the hallway, as a woman's silhouette slowly emerged from the darkness.
Good day, Miss Madeline.
Is the lady of the house all right? Her complexion is so pale, and her eyes seem to lack any fortitude of awareness, nor did she notice my presence or acknowledge your greeting.
Please, pay no mind to Miss Madeline. I'm afraid she's come down with a terrible grievance that has kept her in a trance-like state for some time. She only speaks to Roderick now. Such a terrible shame it is.
I must confess, sir, this whole place has stricken me with strangeness, and it seems only to grow. I am anxious to be reunited with my old friend.
Don't mind the house, sir. You will get used to it. Rest assured, though, you will have to wait no longer, for my master awaits you behind these doors here. Please, notify me if you shall need anything.
There you are. I'm so pleased to see that you received my letter and have decided to come join me. Sit, my dear friend. Make yourself at home. You must be most weary from the journey. Could I get you some tea?
Ah, thank you, Roderick.
It is good to see you once again, dear friend. Tell me, how have you been? I hope the journey wasn't too treacherous or the weather too cold. I haven't been out of the house since this insoluble illness has overcome me.
The trip was long and cold, but otherwise no bother. I've been hoping to see this old place again. I must confess, however, your fragile appearance and the overwhelming sense of unease surrounding you are quite worrisome to me. Tell me of the sickness that afflicts you so.
Sickness? Sick isn't the word to describe what's ailing me. It is an old family evil, you see, one that I have yet to find a cure for. I suffer from a most morbid acuteness of the senses.
An acuteness of the senses?
Yes, I can't bear to taste the most delicious food anymore, for it overwhelms my taste buds. And wine is not too strong a drink, but its insipid taste has become unbearable. I can only wear the finest fabrics as to not irritate my skin. And flowers, how their once inviting smells now torture my nostrils. My eyes are blinded by even the faintest of lights. It is a curse, of that I have no doubt. A curse that has been upon the house of Usher since our beginnings, I'm afraid.
Well, surely we can find some cause to these issues that plague you. Perhaps we can find some solace in art, as we did when we were younger. Curses are superstition, friend.
Oh, how I would love that. To escape from these thoughts that cloud my mind. To be once again as we were when we were younger. I tell you, I fear for what's to come. I fear for the future. I do not fear the uncertainty, but rather the inevitability of it. Until then, I'm afraid I must grapple with the beast of fear itself. The very thought of it sends chills up my spine. And I worry about Madeline as well, for she is similarly afflicted with this curse of Usher.
Wait a minute, Mary. Did you say that Madeline is sick too? For one family to go through this all at once, it's so heartbreaking.
It appears as if the house of Usher is sick itself. Every detail Papa includes of the house mirrors the afflictions of the family.
You're right. I hadn't realized that myself. Let's keep reading.
Roderick appeared before him a sad, brooding wretch. Still, the thought of Madeline's sickly appearance filled my heart with dread.
But I did not pursue the matter, as my principal endeavor was to alleviate the suffering of my old friend. Only the incessant ticking of a clock was able to return me from my thoughts.
Roderick, why don't you try painting to take your mind off your malady? I remember you used to love to paint. Or how about the guitar? I see one over there. I'm sure you still play.
I'm afraid I can't even hold on to a brush anymore, but I am still more than capable of playing the guitar. It is, after all, the only instrument my ears seem to be able to tolerate anymore. And I have the perfect song to show you, which I've just recently written. And maybe after we shall read something. Maybe from Shakespeare or Dostoevsky. Those always were my favorite.
Dostoevsky is rather bleak for a man trying to regain his sanity, don't you think, Jane?
Nothing like Crime and Punishment to lighten the mood. I wonder, though, what do you suppose the song was like?
I'm sure it couldn't have been very good, especially since Roderick seems to be rather unhinged. Let's keep reading. The man was clearly broken, a mere shell of himself.
What's more, the utter sense of despair and gloom that overwhelmed me since the moment I laid eyes on the moonlit specter that was his sister had still not subsided.
While like a ghastly river through the pale door, a hideous throng rush out forever and laugh but smile. And laugh but smile no more.
My friend, you must calm yourself. You are in no condition to be so excitable.
That brings me to another point. I am fully convinced that these gray stones around us, this house of Usher, it ends with me. My fate is tied to this house, as is my dear sister Madeline's. We are the last of the house of Usher, of that I have no doubt. It fills me with dread and discomfort to know that my house dies with me. I am the last heir to the clan of Usher.
Roderick, you mustn't worry about such things. Come, let's read, shall we?
My friend's rantings began to devolve into the insane and rambling curses of a man delved into madness. He was now something else, and I needed to take care that the same forces working on Roderick did not work on myself. I needed to get away from this situation and this place. That was all that I could think when.
My sister is dead. I feel it. I know it. She has left me to wallow in the misery of the downfall of our house alone. You heard what I said earlier. She needs to be placed in the crypt for a fortnight.
I don't remember you saying anything about
She
Bear.
must be interred in the crypt for 2 weeks before we lay her to rest in the family plot.
As we made our way through the labyrinth that was the house of Usher, I couldn't rid myself of an uneasiness stirring in my gut.
I still don't understand, Roderick. Why must we inter her in the crypts? If she is dead, she's dead. This place is rather frightening, no?
If we don't keep her in the crypts, it will never work. Don't you see? She won't stay here unless we make sure she does. A fortnight should be plenty.
She won't stay? What are you saying? Are you sure she's even dead? There's color on her rosy cheeks.
I'm nailing this shut. Hold the lid down for me. You don't understand, Ed. This has to happen this way. It's fated.
Fated? Roderick, she still has color in her face. She doesn't appear to be dead. Do you mean to bury her alive?
Hold the lid.
I needed to make my leave, but had to do so carefully as to not upset the madman that my friend had become. It had been a few days since Roderick and I buried his twin sister. He left me in the solitude of my own private quarters, as he wandered about the hallways in a trance-like state, not speaking a word. I tried to get him to do another painting, but he insisted on being alone, until one day when suddenly there was a knock on my door.
Have you not seen it?
Seen what?
Look outside, Ed. The storm comes for us all now. Madeline has brought the storm, and we will all drown in the beautiful black waters of death. Death is the storm, and the storm is death. Behold its magnificence.
Roderick, I will not die in this house with you. I came here to help, but I see now that you are beyond all help.
Can you not hear her? For days I've heard Madeline in her coffin. I've heard everything. And I'm tired of hearing, tasting, seeing, and being.
It's the storm, Roderick.
Can't you hear her screams, her cries for help, for vengeance? She's furious. Her wrath seeks to bury us all now.
Roderick, I hear the wind, but nothing else.
Listen, my friend, and you too will hear death coming for us. There. Do you hear it now? She approaches the door as we speak.
Okay, Mary, let's just stop. I'm way too scared to continue.
There's only a bit left. Don't worry, it's just a diary. It isn't as if we're living through it. We're nearly at the end. Anyways, it was then that Roderick ran to the door and swung it open.
In the doorway stood the ghostly figure of his sister Madeline, covered in blood. She lunged at him, pushing him through the hole in the floor, which the house was beginning to fall into as well. On instinct, I fled from the house, through the halls and archways that led directly into the storm. I saddled my horse and rode back over the bridge, back into the woodlands of decaying trees. I turned to look back as I saw the house cave into itself, as it all came crashing down. I stayed there, mounted on my horse, marveling at the sight before me. The storm had ceased, and there, in the rubble of it all,
now lay the remains of the house of Usher. I don't even know what to say, Jane. This is the strangest, scariest story I've ever heard, and it's about Papa.
Papa did always seem sad to me, and I guess now we know why. This clearly affected him for the rest of his life since he never talked about it.
So the Ushers died out with Roderick. Do you think the sister was real or a ghost?
I can't say for certain, but I'll tell you this. Once I heard Papa say he wasn't scared of ghost stories, and now I know why. He was already in one. I really don't think I could be more creeped out right now.
The House of Usher has not been uncovered, and no modern technology or research has been able to support or explain what happened to the family line of Roderick Usher. Many of the cases we explore here on factual, actual conspiracy theories remain open-ended. I'm Francis King, reminding you to be weary of accepted truths. Be suspicious. Question what you know, what we all know. Thank you, and good night.